The Summer Hikaru Died opens not with a bang, but with a quiet, creeping chill. It's a subtle unease that settles in from the very first frame, a sense that something is profoundly wrong beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic rural setting. It's an unease that lingers long after the credits roll, a testament to the show's masterful ability to create atmosphere. The visuals are stark, the sound design is unsettling, and the overall effect is deeply unsettling. The story's horror isn't about jump scares or grotesque monsters in the dark, it's far more insidious than that. It's about the monsters that wear familiar faces, the ones that whisper comforting words while harboring something sinister beneath. It's a psychological horror that preys on our deepest fears about trust and betrayal. We're immediately drawn into Yoshiki's world, a world that feels both familiar and deeply unsettling. We feel his growing desperation, his mounting anxiety as he grapples with the impossible. We share his confusion and fear as he senses that something is deeply, fundamentally wrong with his best friend Hikaru. The bond between them is palpable, making the unfolding mystery all the more agonizing. The episode masterfully builds dread through subtle cues, creating a pervasive atmosphere of unease. We hear the lazy, almost hypnotic hum of cicadas, a constant reminder of the oppressive summer heat. We see the harsh glare of the summer sun beating down on the rural landscape, adding to the sense of isolation. And we witness the easy camaraderie between friends, a bond that is slowly being tested and strained by the unfolding events. All of these elements slowly unravel, creating a sense of mounting tension and impending doom. Even in the seemingly lighthearted moments, the brief glimpses of joy and normalcy, there's a persistent nagging sense that something is deeply off, that the idyllic facade is about to crumble. Yoshiki's deep love and concern for his friend is palpable, a driving force behind his actions. But that love is inextricably tangled with the growing horror, the dawning realization, the horror of realizing that the person he cares for most may be irrevocably gone, replaced by something else entirely. The episode trusts its audience to piece together the fragments of truth, relying on visual storytelling, nuanced character work, and carefully crafted atmosphere. It deliberately leaves us with more questions than answers, drawing us deeper into the mystery. It's a haunting and emotionally charged introduction to this strange and compelling world, one that promises a journey into the darkest corners of the human heart and the hidden secrets lurking just beneath the surface of the idyllic countryside. A journey into the complex and often painful landscape of grief, love, and the terrifying unknown. Nestled deep within the heart of the Japanese countryside, in a quiet rural village, time seems to stand still. But the tranquility is shattered when Yoshiki's world is suddenly and irrevocably upended. The catalyst for this change is the return of his best friend Hikaru, who reappears after a week of being missing in the mountains, a week shrouded in mystery and unanswered questions. He comes back, changed. Hikaru's new mannerisms, subtle yet unsettling, coupled with patchy and fragmented memories, begin to unsettle Yoshiki deeply. He notices a shift, a dissonance in his friend's behavior. Yoshiki, observant and perceptive, is the only one who senses the chilling truth lurking beneath the surface, a truth that others seem oblivious to. As the days pass, the tension between the two friends escalates, an invisible wall growing between them. The unease builds until Yoshiki, unable to bear the suspense any longer, confronts Hikaru directly. In a moment of chilling revelation, Hikaru calmly admits the horrifying truth. The real Hikaru is gone. He died during that week in the mountains. And now, something else, something not human, wears his face, inhabiting his body and mimicking his life. But instead of resorting to violence or aggression, the entity makes a surprising plea. It begs Yoshiki to allow it to stay by his side, to continue the charade of their friendship. It offers a promise, a fragile assurance, promising not to harm him, to keep their secret safe. Yoshiki is now faced with an impossible choice, a dilemma that tears at his very soul. He must either grieve the loss of his dearest friend, accepting the finality of death, or he can choose to accept this imperfect imitation, this grotesque replacement, to avoid the unbearable weight of loneliness that threatens to consume him. In a moment of profound weakness, driven by desperation and fear, he chooses to play along with the deception. He clings desperately to the illusion of friendship, grasping at the familiar comfort it provides, even though he knows it's built on a foundation of lies. And so, the episode draws to a close, with Yoshiki living alongside a monster, sharing his life with a being that only resembles his friend. He is bound to this creature by a terrible secret, a pact made in fear and desperation. The central conflict of the story is now firmly set. Can love truly survive when the person you love is irrevocably gone, their essence replaced by something unknown, something potentially dangerous? The village's hidden mysteries, the secrets buried deep within its history, and the entity's true nature, its origins and intentions, loom ominously over their fragile and precarious arrangement, threatening to shatter the delicate balance at any moment. A sense of dread simmers beneath every seemingly normal moment, a constant reminder of the unnatural presence in their lives. This sets the stage for a compelling and emotionally charged story of grief, the lingering pain of loss, denial, the desperate attempt to cling to a reality that no longer exists, and the creeping, insidious horror that festers in the shadows. The Summer Hikaru Died masterfully fuses grief and horror, making loss the true source of fear. Yoshiki mourns the real Hikaru, forced to interact daily with a grotesque imitation. The entity's attempts to mimic Hikaru only highlight what's been lost, turning every smile into a painful reminder. Yoshiki's decision to stay isn't logical. It's a desperate refusal to let go. The real monster is grief itself, warping judgment and leading to dangerous bargains. The horror is internal, rooted in Yoshiki's emotional turmoil and the psychological weight of his secret. By weaving sorrow and fear together, the episode delivers a narrative that is both heartbreaking and chilling. It promises a story that explores the terrifying landscape of the human heart in the face of loss. At the heart of The Summer Hikaru Died lies a chilling mystery, a supernatural horror that burrows deep into the psyche. But beyond the surface scares, at its core, is the fraught, complex, and ultimately heartbreaking relationship between Yoshiki and the entity wearing Hikaru's face. It's a bond tested by the impossible, a friendship warped by forces beyond comprehension. Yoshiki, quiet and observant, a young man grappling with his own hidden feelings, is the only one who truly notices the subtle, unsettling changes in his friend, the creeping sense that something is profoundly wrong. He sees the cracks in the facade, the moments where the imitation falters. His deep-seated love for Hikaru, a love perhaps unspoken, perhaps even unrecognized, drives him to make a devastating choice, to ultimately accept the imposter, this twisted version of his friend, rather than face the unbearable reality of total loss and emptiness. The new Hikaru is unnaturally bright, almost disturbingly so, a caricature of the boy Yoshiki once knew, and his affection for Yoshiki, while seemingly genuine, is now tinged with a disturbing possessiveness and a palpable sense of unease. It's a love that feels both suffocating and wrong. Their relationship, once a comfortable friendship, becomes a tense and precarious dance of pretense and dependence, a delicate balancing act on the edge of a knife. It's a dance where Yoshiki is constantly suppressing his growing fear and mounting dread in order to maintain the fragile illusion of normalcy. Hikaru, in turn, seems to desperately need Yoshiki's acceptance, craving his validation to solidify its own precarious existence and purpose. The power dynamic between them is never static, constantly shifting and evolving, blurring the already indistinct line between victim and monster, between friend and foe. Their seemingly ordinary interactions are layered with hidden subtext, unspoken anxieties, and veiled threats, every carefully chosen word a subtle test of trust, a desperate gamble for survival in a world turned upside down. The story ultimately becomes a haunting psychological study of love in the face of the impossible, identity, and the desperate search for connection in a world where nothing is as it seems. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable truths and the comforting lies we tell ourselves to cope with loss and the unknown. If someone looks and acts like the person you love, embodies their very essence, but deep down you know it isn't truly them, what does that love become? Is it still love or something else entirely, something twisted and unrecognizable? The animation in The Summer Hikaru Died is essential to its unsettling tone, blending serene beauty with flashes of horror. Lush, sunlit backgrounds create a vivid sense of place, making the village feel both idyllic and claustrophobic. The animators use light and shadow to hint at darkness beneath the surface, reinforcing the story's central theme. When horror strikes, the art style shifts, faces distort, limbs contort, and reality glitches, mirroring Yoshiki's terror. These brief, jarring moments externalize his internal dread, making the horror feel immediate and personal. The seamless transition from calm to nightmare keeps viewers on edge, never letting them feel safe. Visual storytelling is bold and confident, using animation to immerse us in Yoshiki's world. The art isn't just background, it's a vital part of the narrative, amplifying every emotion. The result is an atmosphere that is both beautiful and deeply disturbing. Sound design in The Summer Hikaru Died is a masterclass in building atmosphere. The constant buzz of cicadas and rural sounds create a nostalgic, oppressive backdrop. Silence dominates key scenes, making every conversation between Yoshiki and Hikaru feel tense and intimate. When music appears, it's subtle and melancholic, underscoring Yoshiki's grief. Horror sequences bring distorted drones and jarring noises, shattering the calm and signaling the monstrous. Voice acting is superb. Hikaru's cheerful tone is laced with menace, making every word unsettling. The interplay of silence, ambient sound, and music manipulates our emotions, heightening suspense and sorrow. Sound isn't just an accessory, it's a storytelling tool, as crucial as the visuals. The result is an immersive, haunting auditory experience that lingers long after the episode ends. Fans of Mokuma Kuren's manga can breathe easy. The anime adaptation is remarkably faithful in both plot and tone. Key scenes and dialogue are lifted directly from the source, preserving the story's emotional core. The animation captures the manga's clean lines and sudden shifts into body horror, bringing iconic moments to life. The adaptation excels at translating the manga's quiet storytelling, using pacing and cinematography to evoke the same melancholy and dread. Additions like color, sound, and voice acting deepen the experience, making the world even more immersive. The balance between faithfulness and creative enhancement is spot on. This is more than a simple adaptation. It's a loving translation from page to screen. The result is a premiere that satisfies longtime fans and newcomers alike. The village in The Summer Hikaru Died is more than a backdrop. It's a character, radiating mystery and menace. Isolated and insular, the village feels timeless, its beauty masking old secrets and unspoken rules. Whispering elders and strange glances hint at a history of supernatural events. The mountains, source of Hikaru's transformation, loom as a boundary between natural and unnatural. The setting amplifies Yoshiki's isolation, trapping him in a web of fear and suspicion. Hints of other disappearances and wary villagers suggest a larger, ongoing story. The village's oppressive quiet and hidden depths promise that the horror is woven into the very fabric of this world. The Summer Hikaru Died delivers a stunning premiere, equal parts tragedy and psychological horror. Its patient storytelling draws you in with beauty, then corrupts that peace with creeping dread. The heart of the story is Yoshiki's desperate, tragic relationship with the entity wearing Hikaru's face. Every technical element, animation, sound, pacing, serves the narrative, creating a haunting, immersive experience. The adaptation is both faithful and inventive, satisfying manga fans and new viewers alike. This is a must-watch for anyone drawn to stories of love, loss, and the supernatural. The series begins with a whisper of terror, promising a journey into the darkest corners of the human heart. If the quality holds, The Summer Hikaru Died could become a modern horror classic.